So,
Do you know that independents voted +1 apparently for Democrats this time?
hmm
And independent, a lot of people are young people are consider themselves independent or whatever, but a lot of young people are pro-abortion. They may not consider themselves like I like abortion or anything like that, but
right.
they're voting for candidates who are all the way pro-abortion, who are for taking our tax dollars and putting them into giving money to Planned
Which we're
Parenthood.
doing right on
Yeah,
both
so
parties.
I'm, there's a lot of things I maybe wanted to talk about, and some of those things include, you know, I hear people talking a lot about voter fraud in this election and things like that. And there's probably a fair amount of it, especially in the big cities. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But
This
oh, go ahead, Robert.
this and why you brought that up, this is something that didn't just happen overnight. This is something that has been planned and for years to come. Okay, uh, voter for the ways to manipulate the vote in such a way that it can be controlled. I mean, like the elections today, I personally believe that you can't have elections where both parties are straight down the middle. You know, one half has got 50 and the other half has got 50. How does that work out? How does one candidate like this what's going on in Georgia? How is it down the middle?
Right.
How is it both? That's mathematically you can't do that. I mean, you got 50 people on this side of the neighborhood, 50 people on this side of the neighborhood, and that's it. How did you manage to get that? Shouldn't it be 1/3, 2/3, maybe a little bit to the left, maybe to it's straight down the middle.
Yeah, that's
That
a
tells you
lot.
that there's a lot
Over
of
and over.
manipulating going on. I mean, once and in Arizona, why is it taking 2 weeks for a country? We got computers, we got high tech equipment, yet we can't count 50,000 votes, and it takes 2 or 3 days. What's really going on is too many hands are actually touching the ballot.
Yes.
Okay, mail in.
Well, that's the thing. Well, obviously, what happened in the 2020 election, and we'll probably get to Trump later as well. And I have my issues with him. I know, Robert is a strong Trump supporter and blasted me several times about not staying with Trump, but that's another issue. But
Mm-hmm,
um, Trump's election was stolen. Okay.
mm-hmm,
Period. And it's pretty obvious if you just look at it and you're willing to look into it. And that is something that's very concerning that we didn't fix it. Now in Florida here, we fixed it. We got a great governor, Ron DeSantis, and he
mm-hmm,
fixed this stuff. He made it very not impossible. There's still some stuff I don't like. We have
mm-hmm,
a long election season, which I don't like. I don't like all the
mm-hmm,
early voting that goes forever. We
mm-hmm,
have some mail-in balloting, although he made it in a way that not everyone's just getting a mail-in ballot,
mm-hmm,
out of the gate. So Florida kind of fixed, our elections, and it showed. I mean, DeSantis won by almost 20 points. It was a landslide.
mm-hmm.
But elsewhere, people didn't fix their stuff. So this kind of gets back to what I was saying about young people. This all kind of ties in a way because, and older people too, people have not, they can complain about voter fraud or election fraud. And I agree. It looks like it's massive, especially in certain cities. But until you're willing to roll up your sleeves and get dirty and fix it,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to continue. And not only continue, it's going to get worse to the point where you may never ever get your vote back. You
Right.
may never ever get it back. And um, like I was a poll worker for one of the recent elections, not in the
Mm-hmm.
general, but in the primaries, and I learned a lot about what's going on. And I've been in the past for one of the elections, Romney against Obama. I was a poll watcher,
Mm-hmm.
and you learn a lot about that too. I strongly urge people to get involved as a poll worker if you can for an election. We have elections. Hopefully, if we make it that far in America, we'll have elections in 2024. But I strongly urge people to get involved as a poll worker, and if not that, at least a poll watcher. Because if we don't get involved, the Democrats are involved. They know how to win elections. They know how to steal elections. They know how to do early voting so that they are on people from the get-go, from the early. This is another thing. Republicans say, and Trump said this, and other people say, "Oh, vote on election day." I tend to agree with that, and I like to do that myself whenever possible, because there's less cheating involved. However, because there's such a long period of early voting, the Democrats always build up a big lead in early voting because they're out there doing the early voting. So it's kind of like we're kind of have ourselves in a little bit of a box. We're playing under one set of rules, but Democrats are playing on under another set of rules.
Yeah. To me, it all goes back to what evil is. Okay, it's going back to we've come to the point now. I personally believe that, is there any hope for America? As I wrote in my article, if we don't take back America with these mid-elections and the presidential elections, that word hope is done with. Because, and I see now with what's going on with the mid-elections that, when they said it was going to be a red wave, that was another con, because what that does when you say, well, it's going to be a red wave, well, the average people, we're not even going to go out and vote. He says, well, we got this in the bag.
Right.
And they really didn't have it in the bag.
Right.
It was just a psych job to get people not to go vote. And what it has done now, look what it's doing. Now we got this race in Georgia. We got this ridiculous race in Arizona. And it's not as tight as everybody said. Here we're going down the middle again. And once again, the Republicans dropped the ball. And we got a lot of rhino Republicans that come on YouTube, the TV, talk all this one good game. They're for the America, when in reality, they're for how much they can get money in their pocket. It's all about the money now. And one of the reasons, and I'm going to bring Trump up, they don't want Trump in office, period, because he's going to go after the folks and everyone that did all this crime. DeSantis, when he gets in there, love the man, great guy, but he can be bought. And he's going to find out just how dangerous these Democrats are. I don't think the Democrats are even worried about DeSantis. Okay, they're worried about Trump.
Hang on with that, because I agree with a lot of what you're saying. But when you say that DeSantis can be bought, what are you basing that on?
In time, when he gets further up the ladder and see what's really going on. By the way, do you know that there's people that have backed Obama in his presidency? These same people are backing DeSantis with the money.
Who's that?
Billionaires that backed Obama. I will get I'll get the names and all that.
Okay.
That backed Obama in his election. This same money is now backing DeSantis. So what does that tell you?
Well, here's a couple.
What does that tell you? And they want Obama. They want Trump and DeSantis to duke it out, because what that's going to do is divide everything right up the middle. And guess what?
Well, this
is two great candidates, but why go and fight each other and really make enemies, and not one concede or it's got to be one or the other.
Okay.
So if they both go head to head, it's over with.
You're making my argument for me here. And I'm a big DeSantis guy. And I would take DeSantis over Trump, as I've said to you and many other people. Part of that is electability. I don't think Trump is, I could be wrong, of course, my opinion, one man's opinion. I think Trump has lost. They've been able to kind of muddy his name up among the younger people. I think Trump is, from what I can tell, has a lot more trouble now with young people now than with older people. And so electability is a big thing. And I think that I don't know that Trump could be elected right now. I know he got elected last time and it was cheated out of. I get it. I voted for him twice. I don't know that he could be in the future, the way that they've kind of muddied his name up. Whereas DeSantis has basically the same policies, but he's smarter about how he kind of does his public relations. He doesn't pick fights. He doesn't get in Twitter wars and things like that.
Now, what's wrong with that?
It's a problem because you alienate some of the voting base.
Really, there's opinion. How do you didn't alienate me? If it wasn't for Trump opening his mouth, nothing would be heard anyway. Well, he's the only one that brought forth the truth. And DeSantis is getting his courage and backbone somewhat from the feelers of what Trump has started. You got a little more of a hair on their chest now. Yeah, well, Trump can do it. I can say it.
Let's back up. There's a lot of stuff to unpack here.
Mm-hmm.
I think when push comes to shove, as far as you're right about dismantling the deep state, I trust Trump more to do that. Although I have to tell you something. I thought about this today. I was having a conversation with my son about this. As good of a job as Trump did as president, and he was one of the great presidents, no question about it. He was one of the greatest presidents. Trump failed in his first goal. What was his first goal? Was to drain the swamp. He didn't drain the swamp. And in fact, in many ways, he kept the swamp alive. Jeff Sessions, as Attorney General, he kept him around for months, and Jeff Sessions was horrible as Attorney General. Other people he kept, and he kept Fauci around for months. No way Fauci should have been left. Fauci's a criminal. This man is a criminal.
So
and he kept his people.
Well, let
me just finish. So he did not drain the swamp. He had, if he really wanted to drain the swamp, he would have gone in and just wholesale fired a whole bunch of people and started bringing his people in.
Is that how would you know that? You've been a president before?
No, you can see. I can tell.
Well, how do you know?
Hold on,
from sitting behind a desk that that's what's going on?
Robert, we're going to go back and forth here. Give me a chance to explain that. Brian Pombo said Bill Barr too. Yeah. It's clear by his actions. He had swamp people in there. Bill Barr was another one. He had swamp people in there, and he didn't get rid of them. He kept them in power. So he had the chance to get rid of these people, and he didn't do it. So I'm saying that his first promise was to drain the swamp, and he didn't do it. Let's just be honest about it. He didn't do it. Now, I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying
he made it come forth.
He brought it. He brought it out. He brought it out, but he didn't. He could have done many things. It's quite obvious to get rid of these people and not have a bunch of swamp people who were taking him into. Look at what they did with COVID. He had Fauci in there pumping up the vaccines. I'm not supposed to say that on the show here. The shots, and God knows how many people were killed or injured because of that. By the time Trump got a hold of his COVID team, he had months of Fauci and Birx just screwing the thing up, and people died and were injured along the way. So he screwed up in terms of getting rid of the swamp. He failed in that. He just did. That's a fact.
Well, I disagree 100% on that. He made it. He put light to it. He took darkness, put light to it. But sometimes, just because you're a president, you don't have the kind of power you think you have just to drain. He opened the swamp up so we could see the good people and the bad people. And one other thing,
it's not enough.
He only gave us 4 years.
People.
According to who?
According to what's obvious. Let me put it this way. You don't think he should have fired Fauci?
I'm not saying he should or not. I mean, I wasn't in the Oval Office. There's a lot of things he should have done.
Fauci should be in jail right now. He should never.
And so should Biden and his son.
I agree.
And they're not in jail.
I agree.
And the laptop is out and showed the whole world. So what? How come we're not? How come he's not being? How come they're not going after him?
You're not holding Trump to any standard. You're saying that this because
I'm holding him to a high standard.
If you're holding him to a higher standard, you'd ask questions about him, saying, "Why didn't he drain the swamp?" He didn't.
So
he just didn't do it. I don't know how you can argue that he did. He didn't do it.
Trust me, my friend. You're speaking from your perspective. You're not there in the Oval Office.
He didn't
dealing
do it.
with
That's
all
a fact.
this.
It's not a opinion.
And at the same time, fighting for everybody, trying to convict him of this and that. He's doing this.
I agree with that.
He's a smart person. You know, I still
let me say
think he did a great job for this country.
He did a great job in
and
general,
looking for fresh.
He didn't drain.
So you think that's the issue, that you don't vote for him because he didn't drain the swamp, which was something I believe he came up with. He's going to drain the swamp.
I would vote for Trump in a heartbeat over any Democrat. Absolutely.
Right. We're still here, folks. I think we've lost Patrick. His picture's frozen up on my end, but anyway, we'll get back with the technical difficulties. But I support Trump because I think he did a fantastic job. The only president that had the country on a move.
But if it comes time to vote between going.
And
Robert,
there?
you use the time with me off the air to put a Trump commercial in. I heard you.
Did I? I did. I thought maybe people were
No, I'm just kidding.
listening.
That was kind
Okay.
of funny.
No,
let me add something else here because
Mhm.
well, I know we're going to argue, but I just want to get some points back and forth too, because I want to talk about this thing about DeSantis. They shouldn't be arguing. DeSantis is not arguing with Trump. Trump is arguing with DeSantis. He's calling him an average governor, called him Ron DeSanctimonious, called him names. Now, I get what's going on here. It's a setup. The setup, I agree with you about the setup. The setup is coming from the rhinos. It's coming from Mitch McConnell. It's coming from Ronna McDaniel. It's coming from the people at the top of the Republican food chain. And what they did is they used the election to go after Trump and try to get rid of him. The Murdoch media machine is doing the same thing. The New York Post, some degree, the Fox News. They use this opportunity to set Trump up as the bad guy and get rid of him. I get that. It's. I would take.
And you're going along with it.
No. I'm saying Trump is going along with it. He's the one who started calling Ron DeSantis names. He's the one.
When Trump was president.
Did you wait? Just deal with what I'm saying, though. Deal with what I'm saying. Trump is the one who's going out and attacking Ron DeSantis right now, and Ron DeSantis is
I'm
not
not saying that,
Trump.
but I'm not seeing
you're not watching what's going on.
I'm watching just as much as you and more.
Hey, it's
but I see it at a different. I see it from a different. Which news?
Trump put it out on Truth Social. Do you watch Truth Social?
One thing I know for sure. One thing
Trump
I know
put this out himself. He called him names.
And what does that mean? And what is wrong with what he's doing?
It's stupid. That's what's wrong with it.
According to you?
You don't go after fellow Republicans 3 days before the.
Watch what DeSantis does.
Wait a minute. You don't go after.
Watch what he does.
Wait a minute, Robert. Don't overtalk me here. You don't go after a Republican 3 days before his election and call him Ron DeSanctimonious and he's an average governor. He was trying to depress the margin of victory for Ron DeSantis.
Did Trump have any?
You're not even answering my questions.
What is your question?
I'm saying that Trump went after DeSantis. And that's okay before the man's election.
I have to look at that myself, but I didn't see that.
Okay, Trump's problem is
Patrick,
Trump.
you just don't like Trump.
I don't like Trump.
And you have right. You don't like his arrogance. You don't like, and to me, that's nothing. In other words, if I was a captain of a ship, you would not be first mate, because once you don't disagree with the captain, you're going to jump ship. Doesn't matter.
Trump is not the captain anymore.
Right.
Okay? Right.
So you're going to throw him to the curb.
No, I'm not.
And think the new captain is going to run the show better.
I don't know.
And they're going to do the same. And they're going to do the exact same thing to DeSantis.
They are going to do some of that, and I don't know if DeSantis will do any better. But Trump is Trump's own worst enemy. He doesn't need me.
According to who? But that's a judgment call, and you can't make that kind of judgment. He's the own worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy. We are both. I'm my own worst enemy. Okay, but I'm not going to judge another man. And he did what was good for the country, lowering taxes, more money, making the country move. But now all of a sudden, but he's got a big mouth, but nobody likes him because of his big mouth. So you come up with these little bitty things. He's a man. Have you not talked about men? What's that got to do with about him running the country? If he thinks that's going to get him to get back in office, which he should have been run 8 years.
He should have been, but it's not going to get him back in office. Trump is making himself look like a petulant little child right now. And
according to who?
It's to many people. I've
not to me,
because you're a diehard Trumper.
And you're not a diehard Trumper.
No, absolutely not.
Which is just perfect. And you're a diehard DeSantis man.
Not really diehard, but I'll take him over Trump. I like him.
Yes,
I like
you'll take anybody over Trump.
No, not
right?
Not Biden, not a Democrat. Sorry.
No, I said you would take any Republican over Trump.
No, I wouldn't actually. No.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Okay, Patrick.
There's a lot of Republicans I wouldn't take over Trump. A lot of
but you understand my question. You understand where I'm going with this.
You're not right. You're factually incorrect.
No.
I would not.
No.
I would take Trump over most, but not on someone like Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is smarter. He knows how to get elected. He knows how to not. He doesn't.
Trump didn't know how to get elected.
He doesn't attack fellow Republicans.
What's that got to do with anything?
It's stupid. Why would you attack your own party?
What did the other Republicans do when you had 16 Republicans on the stadium? Were they attacking each other? 16 of them?
Wait a minute.
Was there 16 Republicans attacking each other?
Yeah, but hold on a second. When were they doing that? They were doing that in a debate that was happening before their primary. That's when you're supposed to attack. You don't go
and
on
the Democrats don't do that?
You don't go on the attack while you're still in a general election against the Democrats.
Oh, you ran for office?
You don't think that's smart that anyone can't see
But
that?
you ran for office?
You don't need to run for office. I got common sense.
Okay.
I got common sense. That's why.
Okay. And so you have common sense, and Trump and DeSantis and everybody else doesn't.
Trump has common sense.
You have a problem with Trump and his arrogance.
Trump doesn't use his common sense. He's not using it right now.
He's a billionaire and you're not.
Trump. So what? A lot of people are billionaires.
Okay.
So is Jeff Bezos. I don't want to be like Jeff Bezos either.
And he's arrogant too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, so very arrogant. And so is DeSantis, by the way.
Maybe
he's arrogant too.
But
no,
at least
for a fact.
At least DeSantis is smart enough not to attack fellow Republicans.
Not yet.
During a general election.
Not yet. The reason why? Because he's fishing in the water. He's seeing where he's got to go, because eventually he's going to come out. He's going to start saying, he's going to have to say something. He wants to be president. Yeah. He ain't going to sit still and be a Mr. Nice Guy.
But he's smart enough. He's smart enough not to attack fellow Republicans during a general election.
Man, it is so early yet. It ain't even got out. It ain't even in the ballpark yet. Wait till they get in the ballpark. You're going to see a change.
Well, when they get in the primaries, that's the time that they can attack each other, right?
When did the rule? By whose rules? By whose rules, sir?
That's like Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment. Don't attack fellow Republicans. You don't go after people on your team unless they're
are going. But if it was for Trump, you don't think
see that, Robert? You don't see
where he'd be at now?
You don't see that doesn't make any sense.
I see it. It makes sense. It makes sense to me.
Anything Trump does, you're going to say it's okay because he did.
Now that's not true. Now that's not true.
What don't you agree with him about?
What do you mean? Give me an example.
What don't you agree with Trump about?
A couple of things. I mean, like you say, why did he keep Fauci around? Why did he do this? But I don't jump ship just because of that. You jump ship. I could not have you as a first mate if I was the captain. Well, I can't have you because you're not going to be loyal and help me on my ship. As soon as you get unloyal, you're going to jump ship and go to the other boat and see where that goes. And if that gets unloyal,
so you're telling me, Robert, I don't have the freedom as a voter to look at, see who
absolutely
to me.
100%.
So what is the problem? I'm choosing one guy over another.
Because the reason why you don't Trump is you being dishonest by the reason why you don't like Trump. You don't like his air. And I did a test with a lot of people. What is it that Trump did? What is it about Trump that you don't like? Well, what did he do? He got a big mouth. And I ain't talking about that. What did he do wrong for the country? Well, I don't like his arrogance. I can't think of it right now. And that's exactly what you'll come up with this one thing he didn't like that you didn't like. And all of a sudden, you're on the other side of the fence.
I didn't say that.
It doesn't matter. And that's what makes this country beautiful.
Robert, you're going to try to overtalk me because you don't want to hear my side. I already told you the shots he screwed up big time.
According to you.
What do you mean according
to
me?
Next time we'll dial Patrick's phone number. Hey, Patrick, what did I do wrong here?
Robert, people are dead. People are dead and injured now because of Trump's decisions.
So are 60 million babies.
That's right. But they're both.
But why are they dead? You blaming Trump for that?
No, they're both problems. You can't see that they're two different things.
No, what?
One is abortion, which is wrong, and one is the shot, which is wrong.
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
Is it wrong?
They're both wrong. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the reason why you don't want. But remember, before you got into this conversation, you said the reason why you left Trump is because of the vaccine situation.
Well, yeah, we talked about this before.
Right.
If I had a choice,
that was all you was talking about.
Vaccine was the main thing, and he also left the January 6th people high and dry. I noticed Trump hasn't done. He hasn't done anything to free those.
What do you mean by high and dry? Now, see.
Those people are rotting in a DC prison right now.
How is he going to get them out?
Trump could have a press conference. If I was Trump, I'd have a press conference every day till those people are released. And if Trump put attention to those people who are rotting in a DC prison right now, something would happen. But the fact of the matter is, Trump didn't really do anything, and those.
So that means so that's the reason why you're not voting for Trump, because of that.
Those are two major things that I have a problem with. In comparison, I'm not comparing him to Biden. I'd vote for Trump over Biden.
Pretty much.
I'm comparing him to Ron DeSantis, for instance, and I'm saying Ron DeSantis is smarter. He has basically the same policies. Whether he'll be as tough in certain ways as Trump or not, maybe not. Maybe he will. I don't really know yet. But
that's the key right there. You don't know.
Let me tell you something.
Sure.
I don't know. None of us knows anything for sure necessarily.
Thank you. 100%.
Let me give you an example.
It's all spiritual anyway.
Let me give you an example of electability right now. Trump is not, as I don't believe, as electable now as he was, because he's constantly shooting himself and others in the foot. Let me give you an example. DeSantis won Florida by almost 20 points. He totally wiped out the opposition. He also won Miami-Dade, which is a pretty kind of liberal area. It's one of the most liberal areas of Florida. Right now, I don't think there's a chance in hell that Trump could win the Miami-Dade right now if he was in an election. And in order to win now, you have a lot of independents out there. You got to bring those people over.
So you got to play the game.
And he's not as electable. I don't believe he's electable as now.
You just blacked out again, my friend.
I'm saying that Trump is not, in my opinion, is not as electable as he was before. And a lot of that is Trump's own fault. And that's therefore I'm going for the guy who's more electable and will put in what I see is basically the same policies. Maybe some of them are better. DeSantis's COVID policies have been better.
You're making my point. He
didn't lock everybody down during COVID.
Who did?
DeSantis did not. He did it.
But he's running a state. But he's not running a whole 50 states. You know, it's different. People got different rules for different states. See, you act like you've been in the White House and know how everything works.
I'm just telling you, it's common sense.
You're talking for. Who's common sense?
Robert, we all vote. None of us are president, but we all have a vote. Okay.
Right. Which is wonderful.
And we have an opinion, and you can take it or leave it. If it doesn't make sense to you, that's fine. But you can sit here and belittle my opinion because I'm not president or I hate this guy or whatever. You're basically belittling my opinion.
You said that.
I have every right to my opinion as a voter, as an American 100%. Citizen. So we're just talking. We're just talking. We're disagreeing, but we're talking. And we.
But I'm not going to back down. I'll take the hits. I'll take the rocks. I'll take the pushaways. I'll take the because I'm loyal. Okay,
you're loyal to, man, Robert. You're loyal
but he was loyal. I'm loyal to a man that didn't take no paycheck while he was president. Worked day and night. Really.
The problem is that you're loyal to a man and not a principle. That's your problem.
No, that's not my problem.
If the man is a man
I'm loyal to Jesus.
No, you're not. How can you?
And another thing, you don't have a right to say that what godly is. You're not. Were you godly?
I can say whatever I want.
No, but you said when you wrote me on Facebook, you said that the man you said Trump is not godly, as if you are. Are you?
I don't think he's a decent. I think.
No, are you?
I don't know if I'm godly. I'm trying. Okay?
No, you're not.
I'm not trying.
No, you said you were godly, as if you were.
I didn't say I'm godly.
You are the.
I never said I was godly.
But you said Trump was not. So where you have a right to say that? But then that means you're godly to say someone else is not.
Let me say why I'm saying that. No, I don't think it necessarily means I'm godly. I'm doing the best I can.
Then you can't throw a stone at someone else and say they're not godly. You don't know that.
Here's the problem: is I have vision. I can see what's going on. Trump
through your eyes.
Of course, I'm not looking through your eyes.
Okay, well.
Okay, so Trump is the problem with Trump, as I see it, is I think Trump loves America. I think Trump did a lot of great things. Okay, I've already established those things. The problem with Trump is he's always been about Trump. He's got his
and what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Because when you're about yourself too much, you do stupid things like go after another fellow Republican during their election cycle. That's it. The only reason he did that is to knock DeSantis out so that he could become president again. He's looking at the competition and trying to knock him out before.
And what's wrong with that?
You don't do that during a general election against the Democrats.
And you don't go mail in ballots and steal the election from people. You don't do that either. But we want to shove that under the rug and act like it didn't happen.
So you picked the right time.
Shove that under the rug. Act like that didn't happen. Okay, we want the mail-in ballots as well. You know, we're going to say, well, just move on. How can you do that? They stole the election. So technically, if they stole the election, President Trump should be president right now.
Yes, he should.
Not a half-dead president that we got now.
I agree.
With a rogue son and a rogue family.
Robert, but just tell the truth here. I voted for Trump twice. When the election was stolen from him, I did everything I could to put out whatever I could, the message, whatever in my little way I could
until the vaccine happened.
No, I still think no matter the vaccine or no vaccine, they stole the election from him. I still say that to this day.
So shouldn't that be corrected?
It should be, but it's not going to be corrected right now.
And it's happening right now as we speak.
It is. And Trump's going to have to get elected again. And because partially his own fault, he's made himself, in my opinion, could be wrong. Mm-hmm. I believe he's made himself unelectable in a general election.
A lot of people that I talk to, which you, it's all about the ego. He's got a big mouth. He's got he with all that. But you don't want to talk about what he actually done. You want to talk about his
I already talked about what he's done.
You want to talk about the person, how he is.
No,
because you can say
it's affecting his judgment and it's affecting his electability.
But your judgment is better.
My judgment,
with all the pressure he's got, your judgment is better.
My judgment is that Trump, as I said over and over again, is his ego. Now, when I say ego, you kind of flash and think I'm saying because he has a big ego, that's bad. Yes, it is bad, but God worked with him anyway, even with the ego that he has. The problem is his ego has gotten out of control and has become his own worst enemy. Yes, in my opinion.
Right now you just said God. So you was right there next to God when he said, well, "Hey, Patrick, I'm behind Trump, but this is what's going on. So I'm just letting you know." So
God was behind Trump. God clearly,
and he's behind him right now because there's not a man on earth right now could take the heat and the stones blocking him right now. That's why I'm sticking with him because he's a man that knows how to stand up through all this. Even if he doesn't make it as president, I'm still going to stick with him, not throw stones at him. But his ego and his big mouth is the reason why he didn't do this. I'm saying, but what about my big mouth and my ego?
That's fine, but you're not running for president.
That's that. Yeah, exactly, Patrick. You're not running for president either.
No, but I have a voice, and you're not going to.
And so do I.
You're not going to squelch it.
You said that. I didn't say that.
No, but you're constantly talking to me like I can't voice my opinion. Oh, it's about you. You're not president. And all this stuff.
You can't take the heat.
You
can't fry an egg. You can't fry an egg. You can't take the heat. You're getting. Why are you getting angry? I'm just telling you the way I feel. I'm not angry, and I'm not attacking you.
Okay, you've been attacking me about Trump. You've been attacking me for a long time about Trump.
That's you saying that. But when you say to me that the reason why he's not president and the vaccines, you don't even make sense.
Because you're not watching what's going on. You don't think that Trump.
Oh, now I'm not watching what's going on.
You're not watching what's going on. If you don't see that Trump screwed up on the shots, then you're not watching what's going on. That's a fact. Yeah. We're not talking about opinion now. We're talking about dead people and injured people. Trump had a lot to do with that.
Oh, and you really care about that, right?
Of course. Why not?
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about the people that killed the 60 million babies. We keep throwing that to the side. What about where were you when that was going on? I didn't hear Patrick talking.
I've been speaking out about that for a long time, Robert.
I never heard.
Well, you're not listening.
You're talking about about a vaccine that's almost non-talkable now. We don't even talk about it now. Because you know why you don't. Babies are being mutilated to change from men to women and boys.
You know why they don't talk about the vaccines? Because they don't allow it on some of these platforms. I can't even say. I just said the word again. They don't even allow it. That's why. Because the people in charge don't want us talking about the truth. That's why.
Did you like Trump when he was tweeting?
I think some of that was not smart for the president to do.
Thank you. That's what everything you say points to that you don't like Trump. That's all that is.
All it did was give
get to the little man.
all it did
Was get to the little
I
man.
mean, some of it was okay. Some of it was okay, but when you start picking fights with people,
Right on. That's what makes a
it's
warrior. He's a warrior. It's a warrior.
It's beneath the dignity of the president of the United States. That's what it is.
You've
It
been the
doesn't make
president
sense.
before?
You don't get in.
Have
you
you
don't
been
get
the
Twitter
president
fights.
before?
Why do you keep asking me silly questions?
Because you keep saying
obviously-
stuff with your assumption. No, I don't know. That's the whole point. I loved it when he did Twitter because I could just go up the computer. Oh, there he is
You
talking to
don't-
me instead of
you don't
listening to
understand.
another news voice. I was talking
You
to. He was
already,
talking
but you're
directly to
already,
us.
you're already for Trump all the way. You don't. When you're the
I'm
president,
loyal.
when you're the president, you're president of all the people, even those who didn't vote for you.
100%.
And Trump is already alienated a lot of those
According
people
to
who
you.
didn't vote for. Well,
The ones that don't like you, yeah. You don't like him, you no more say, hey, if you don't want to get on his ship, get off the ship. Go get out, jump in the water, swim over to DeSantis, and get on his boat.
I've already swam.
Okay, well, good.
So that's already happened. Let
100%.
me take some.
I love this conversation.
I haven't even gotten to any of the comments yet. Let me see. Hang on, guys.
Oh, I know I'm gonna be nailed, and I'm gonna love every bit of it.
Why would you love it if they're nailing you?
Because I'm a man and I can take it.
No, you shouldn't be loving it. It should just be something that
Why
people
not?
do to you.
I'm a warrior.
You're a warrior. But the problem is you're warring for personalities.
According to you.
Right.
No. I know what he's done, so I'm gonna stick by him.
Yeah, but I know what he's done too. He's done a lot of good and some bad, some very bad.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's why you jump in ship.
I'm jumping because I'm going to what I believe is a better candidate.
And that's
Are you not hearing what I'm talking?
But you're not understanding what I'm saying. That's fantastic.
You're not hearing me talking, right?
You're free. You froze up again, man.
Something wrong with.
We can talk about other things if you want. Let's see.
The weather? No, I'm just kidding.
No, we can talk about a lot of stuff. But as far
Ryan
as
says we're discussing from two different places, it's impossible. Mind Over Energy says, grab your popcorn, folks. This is what. Hey, we have to get into this. We've had it out privately about Trump. You called me weak because I didn't want to because I was telling truth about Trump and
see, there you go again. Your truth,
right? My opinion. Yeah. I'll be fair. I believe it's truth, but it could be just my opinion. I'll be fair about it.
Okay.
But let's see. Let me see. Hang on a second here. Oh, okay. Here's one to agree with you, Robert. Sticks Base. Hey, Sticks Base. It's been a long time since we talked. I'm glad to see you. Sticks Base.
100% Stick Base.
Okay, let me at least
100%. He's a Patton. And you wouldn't have liked Patton either.
Would you let me?
You would not have liked Patton because he cussed.
Robert, let me read this. We need General Patton for POTUS. Trump is a kicker. But I've said Ted Cruz speak up an awful lot too. Scene. Yeah.
You wouldn't have liked Patton either.
That's a great quality that Trump has. I love Patton, and I love that quality of Trump. I
He's
just
not
don't like
soft because the Democrats are not soft. They're doing everything they can to destroy Trump. And the reason why they want to get rid of him more so than DeSantis, because if Trump gets back in office, they're done. Okay? And the people are going to fall in behind him 100%.
I think that you may be right that Trump,
and they're not even worried about DeSantis.
Robert, can we talk back and forth a little bit? I think you might be right that Trump could end up learning his lesson if he got back in. I believe that he could learn his lesson, start firing the people he should have fired the first time, realize he didn't drain the swamp the first time, but he could do it this time. He could be smarter, and he's a tough dude. He could be a better president than DeSantis. What I'm saying is you have to get there first. You have to get elected. I don't see him, in my opinion, okay? I don't see that he's nearly as electable as DeSantis. And you have to get there first before you become president. Go ahead.
So, when you say drain the swamp, a lot of sharks and big sharks are in that swamp, and they're not easily, you cannot easily get rid of them, especially when some of them are on your side.
It's not true. by the way.
McDonald's, really? Well, let's fire McDonald's.
Not
Let's
completely true.
fire all the rhinos. The ones that are really stabbing him in the back
No.
and serving him meat.
Hold on. Jeff Sessions was his attorney general. Okay, the guy was doing nothing for what, 2 years, and Trump kept him. Okay, Bill Barr was doing nothing basically. He kept him. He kept a lot of
a lot of
people.
liars.
Yeah, he kept a lot of people, but they weren't producing. Everybody could see it, apparently, but Trump, he wouldn't fire these guys.
But around all that, did he turn America around?
He did great things for America, yes. But the problem is,
but there's a but. When you butt algebra, you just kicked all that what I just said out the window. Okay. But not really. That's what you're saying. If you put a but in between it, you just now took all what you just said and threw it out the window.
Fine, but he didn't make it permanent. If you drain the swamp,
he
then
ain't
you
the
make
president
it permanent.
now. He's not the president because they cheated. The Russia,
he didn't drain the swamp.
They tried to go after the FBI raid, and he's not even. What they're trying to get the man, and he's not even president, and raid his house. What is that about? They're not raiding the president's house. Why aren't they doing? Why when you see real crime going on, and both Republicans and Democrats are letting it go by, and they want to get one man out the way. That's what they want to burn him. They're going after his family, his children. They raid his house, the Russia, everything.
I said many times.
God's behind this, man, and that's where you can't see that.
I said many times that Trump is not nearly the biggest problem, that the rhinos are trying to get rid of him. That's for sure. I agree with you on that. And that they are a much bigger threat to our
100%
republic than Trump.
And now, are we not seeing it now? Let me ask you this. Are we not seeing that now? Are we not seeing that now? Patrick, since Trump is gone, all the rhinos that are in office, can you not see it visually now? Because nothing's happening.
I agree. I've been against rhinos for years.
They've let Biden's son get away with murder, and we got eyewitness everything. What are they doing now? They don't want Trump nowhere near that office because he's gonna nail him, and the people are gonna back him. Because I have people that hate it, that don't like Trump, said I wish Trump was back, and that's at my job. And these are black people. Well, at least Trump kicked ass or did something. I said, yeah. I said all you gotta do is vote for him.
Help Trump out. I agree with a lot of stuff that you said, but again, he has to get elected. He's not 100%. As popular. From everything I can tell, he's not nearly as popular as he was in 2016 or even 2020. And the young people have been turned against Trump, and that's a problem. It's not a lot of that's not his fault, but the fact is they are against him, and that's a problem when you're trying to get elected. That's mainly what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well, how about a bunch of old goats like us staying on the ship and backing him?
Everything that Trump does correctly, in my opinion, I will back him on. But if
against a Democrat,
he's doing wrong things, if he's attacking DeSantis before the primary.
There is more, Patrick, there is more to this story than you think, okay, going on in Florida. And you're about to find out.
Oh, there is more.
Okay.
Listen, I'm going to agree with you about other things too. And I said this already on Facebook. Trump made DeSantis in terms of there would be no DeSantis governor.
You're breaking up, but I need you to repeat that again.
Oh, you just want me to say it again. There would be no DeSantis governor of Florida without Trump.
Now, guess what? Now, stop right there.
Okay.
So where is the loyalty for DeSantis for Trump?
I don't think.
And you're going to find he ain't going to have none.
You may be right.
We're going to see just how DeSantis is as smart as you say. When he has to really start speaking out, we're going to see if he's going to recede or go after him. He's going to have to do one of the two.
Robert,
I like your headphones.
I am listening to. I'm agreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with every point here.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. He made DeSantis, and you could maybe make an argument that DeSantis used him and maybe is dumping him after after that. Maybe the same with Youngkin. That's very possible. I'm watching that, go good. Yeah.
Can I say this? Here's a perfect example, folks, whoever's listening to this show, of what's going to happen between two conservative parties that fight against each other, and the left is going to win. Satan is going to win this because that's what they want. This argument that we're having with my best friend here, Patrick, you're going to see there's arguments going to be across every spectrum of the computers at home, at the dinner table, at the job. And they're not going to be talking about Biden. They're going to be talking about DeSantis or Trump. And the bottom line is we're going to lose if we do this. Well, that's the bottom line.
I basically agree with that. We need to, but I think we need to have out what we need to have out because, again, Trump started this fight. He's the one that went after DeSantis. He just did. Okay. So I'm just saying, I agree with what you're saying in general. I understand that. Okay. Brian Pombo has a quote from Trump. He said, I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters. Okay. Yeah. I remember when he said that. That was a little troubling. I do want to make sure that we are doing, I don't mean to trigger you when I say doing what's right. I'm not trying to claim that I'm Mr. Right or anything, but I'm saying we aim to do what's right.
Right.
And we do have to be careful about following the man. If I don't think he's right, I have a problem with him, at least in the Republican primary. Okay. I certainly vote for him all day long. And they say twice on Sunday if it's against a Democrat, any Democrat, because the Democrats are completely corrupt right now. But I do think you should watch and others should watch. And I don't want to get that way with DeSantis either. I think we're
I'll say this. I guess we get back on the hope for America. There's always hope for America. And as I wrote in my article, if we lose this election and we don't take this election serious, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about this particular midterm election and the presidential election. You folks have no idea how important this is. It's not about the man. It's about between good and evil. It's all spiritual. And if we don't stand up for what is right, no matter what we think about the individual person, because even people in the Bible back in the day were fallible men. They did everything wrong. They did everything right. They did the best they could, but God still backed them. So all I'm saying, folks, is we need to be careful and pray on our country today, because right now in this moment, we're in trouble.
We are in trouble.
I don't want to bicker. Well, I don't want to bicker over this little method we were doing now, but this is it. And it's starting to play into what I was writing, the days of Noah. I look at my people, black people, they're lost. I look at white people, they're lost. It's like, as I wrote in my article, men and women going around wearing baggy pants, earrings. They don't know anything about God. And it's exactly the way it was in the days of Noah. And in Noah, it took 150 years for him to build that boat. And God's going to have enough. And he's given us the last chance to get this right. And if we don't get this election right this time, there is no hope for America.
Robert,
just pack your bags.
Robert, you're 100% right about that. Another person agree with Robert here. Brian, another good friend of mine, Brian, is telling me I'm wrong. Trump in 2024. Well, again, if he's a nominee, I'm voting for him, period. Okay. Let's make that understood.
Yeah, this was a great episode. It's fun. I love my good friend Patrick. If it wasn't for him, I couldn't bounce off the stuff that I do now anyway. So I got to have somebody to bounce it off.
Okay, I'm back. This is terrible because the longer this goes on, the more I'm getting off. It's taking me off. Brian said this is a circular conversation. Nothing new will come out. He's kind of right. So I will stop. 100%. I'll stop that. We've had it out. Okay. Right. Robert and me have it out. We know where both of us stand on this thing. We're both passionate about what we believe. Sorry, guys, but what can we say? Okay. Let's see. Mind Over Energy says true about Trump, Brian, but I think it's educational for people wanting to see both sides. Plus, it's entertaining. Well, we're happy to entertain you, as Jerry Maguire said. Tom Cruise, as Jerry Maguire said. Happy to entertain you.
Where's my good friend Francis?
He's probably in
And
here
Fabian.
somewhere. Fabian's here. He's going to probably blast you. He's coming after you.
So amazing. He ain't said nothing.
Oh, he has. I just didn't get to him yet. Okay, I'll try to get to comments here before we go off the air because I'm not going to stay on forever. I'm losing my voice again. And Brian says, DeSantis hasn't even declared his candidacy. You're counting our chickens before they hatch, old school. Well, yeah, maybe to some extent. Yeah, he hasn't announced. I'm just saying he was attacking a guy during the election. But yeah, he may not even announce. Maybe he'll just sit back and let Trump have the nomination. I don't know. He might be right. All right. Let me see. How about Fabian? Fabian says, here we go. Trump didn't know how to align to good people, Fauci and Birx, but is a medical mafia submission. He threw away all gains.
Fabian absolutely doesn't like Trump, and it's all emotion. Sorry, Fabian. You just don't like Trump.
I know he doesn't. But he is, in my opinion, little old me, who's not president.
And how does he concern good people? Is Fabian good people and I'm bad people? So Trump never lined himself with good people.
Meaning,
love you, Fabian.
Never,
no way.
Fauci and Birx are not good people, and I agree.
Well, maybe he kept them, maybe like the Godfather did. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Maybe keeping them out of so he can get educated. He knows now because there was a point that he wanted to get rid of Fauci. But Fauci had great power.
He finally got rid of him. I mean, way too late, but he finally got rid of him. Okay, one more from Fabian, just for fun here, right?
Wait. Fabian cannot say I'm an immoral. Why? How is Trump an immoral man? Does that make Fabian an immoral man? Right. Sorry, Fabian. That ain't gonna fly either. It's emotional.
His real colors now going after DeSantis. Yeah. I mean, Trump did well. I already said what I'm going to say. I'm going to shut my mouth for a little while.
What Fabian said is so. What's the word? Whack. That he's going to sit there and say, how does he know that Trump is a moral man? According to Fabian? Give me a break, dude.
According to Fabian, that's all we have, right? I mean, anything you say is coming from Robert, right?
So if he's an immoral man, then Fabian's saying that Trump didn't do anything good. Okay, so he's saying of Trump exactly like Biden or his son. Okay. That's a man that can't see clearly.
Morally, he's saying he's got troubles, but he obviously helped America greatly. Oh, we all know that. Anyway,
Fabian, are you an immoral man?
I'm sure he would say no. Hey,
I'm sure he would.
Let me take some more. Let me take some more comments before we get kicked off here.
Love you, Fabian.
Michael Rubino says Trump, my first option, but I like DeSantis. Can't go wrong with either guy, in my opinion. Okay, fair enough. Okay. I can't put everything up that Fabian says because he does tend to have a lot of comments.
Oh, yeah.
Even Fabian knows that.
I bet Fabian would get on an immoral boat to get off an island if it belonged to Trump. I bet he'd get on the boat then. I love that. Perfect. I think DeSantis needs to be in the circle, but I don't think he's ready to run the country yet.
You're not letting me read these. You want to read these? I'll let you read them. Go ahead. Go ahead. Read them, Robert.
Well, you keep blacking out. It says DeSantis or Cruz for vice president. I don't know what the DEF, man. Have to worry about racist rhinoism with Trump.
That's true. I agree with that.
Right.
All right. Right let's go to another one. You want to read it? You want me to read it?
No, it says Robert's opinion is very common. DeSantis is popular, but Trump will be king until he dies or steps aside. I agree with that. I think Trump needs to play out his whole storybook and he's not going to go off and die off to the wild blue yonder. It has to play out to the end. And he's got a lot more energy to provide the planet.
Should I throw more Fabian stuff in here just to
If
get
you
you into it
wish.
with him? All right, I'll just
I
throw
can
one
take
more.
it.
All right, let's just throw one more in. What's the hell of it? Trump is using MAGA for his own glory, which I actually agree with. Not that he didn't
So
agree
you
with
so
great
wait,
things.
Trump is using MAGA for his own glory.
Yes.
Now, what do you mean by his own glory?
Right, like right now, he started the 2024 election cycle while we were still in a election against Democrats. He was already running and trying to knock out Republicans who would go against him.
You know
I think
what?
that's one thing he did.
What's amazing about Fabian is
He
he
said
just likes a man.
He does
that,
dislike him, yeah.
Oh yeah, he dislikes Trump because he doesn't even like. He thinks he's immoral, and that which when you call a man immoral, that means you're moral. Fabian got no place to be calling anybody immoral. Okay. See, that's what's insane about what he says. Fabian has been bitten and is still angry. Okay, so he hates Trump, but he can't. Why? What is the reason why you don't like Trump? Because he's a big mouth? He's arrogant? Okay. So is Patton. So is General MacArthur. So is Solomon. So is David.
Patton was made to be a general. Patton probably wasn't made to be president of the United States. I mean,
he was killed. He was killed before he had a chance.
It's maybe a little different. He wasn't very smart about.
He spoke his word. He almost was like Trump-esque. He said whatever's come out of his mouth.
I'm going to pass up a few more because I've read a lot by Fabian and Brian already. No, wait. Well, Brian says the Ryan. Paul Ryan is working with DeSantis. What does that tell you? That would tell me a lot if that was true. It is
true.
If that is true, wait. I have not seen any evidence that is true. I hear that's a rumor. I haven't seen evidence.
I have to look for
and I'll look into it.
And I have to look for the evidence about the backers the same backers that have put Obama in office. Money's behind DeSantis.
Okay, yeah, find out and
I'll get that to you.
Okay, I will put this stuff out. I don't hold back information, even if it's stuff I don't don't want to agree with or whatever. If it's there, it's there. So I'm not gonna if it's there, it's fine. I haven't seen evidence of these things.
What's that old saying? Corrupts. You give a man so much he
you were wondering if Martin what's that?
I'm just trying to see when you offer a man power and glory, where does his
they get corrupt sometimes.
Right.
Often. Usually.
Right.
Martin, the reason that your friend Martin is not on, Fabian is saying, is because Martin started at 6. Normally we do, but I was trying to get Robert in because Robert's a working man, and we gave him an hour early so he gets a little more sleep. That's all. And we won't take you too long, Robert, either. We got a whole bunch by Fabian, said it over and over. Different
Tell him to send all his comments to email so I can take all night to read them.
Wow, I can't read all this right now. Come on, Fabian, come on.
I'm telling you.
Fabian, don't do this. You got like 10 comments in a row here. My God.
What does that tell you?
There's too many comments. Fabian, you know that. Fabian, I'm agreeing with you on this point. So I've already made your points pretty much about the jab and everything. So I'm going to let that go. Okay. That's probably enough for tonight. Let's get to
I had a great time.
Yeah, it's great. Before we end, and I probably beat the dead horse too much and probably argued too much. Forgive me for that, guys.
People like that.
But I don't know what to say. I mean, we had to kind of have this out at some point. Let me just say this. There's some bright spots in America. Florida was a bright state, thank God. And I'm in Florida, and not that I had a lot to do with it, but I did vote, and I voted, as I thought was right. My county, which is Santa Rosa County, is doing great things too. I've been as much as I can. I've been really, really a lot going on right now. They are helping to take back this county. Okay. and they are doing great things. We got 2 members now on the board of county commissioners now who are pro. Again, 2 members. Am I here? 2 members on the county commissioners who are pro citizens now, and a 3rd guy is going to run the next election cycle. There's only 5 of these people there. We can have a voting majority by the next election cycle. This is the citizens doing the work. So I urge everybody to follow what counties like my county here is doing, Santa Rosa County in Florida are doing, and get involved in your own county. I know the internet's terrible. My internet connection is terrible. Figure out what you can do in your own county, okay? And help out, because you can turn around your own areas. People in Oregon, Southern Oregon, a lot of my good friends there. You guys just elected an out and out lesbian governor, okay? And you have a major gun control act that you put through. You've got to get active. I know a lot of you are trying to get active. I want to be whatever help I can be. I know Robert wants to help out in his area as well, and I urge you to do so, Robert. There are bigger fish to fry. You are right, Robert, that we can't end up just shooting each other and killing each other off while the Democrats will take another election. So we need to get our own counties back in order. I wanted to say that before we left the air. You said, no, we did not, Patrick. Yeah, you guys did. I mean, you may not have personally done it, Fabian, but your state elected a out and out lesbian governor. You did. So you need to get out there, people, and do what you can, door knock, talk to people. Don't just vote. Voting is great, but it's really not enough. Poll work, poll watch, do something I wanted to get that point out. Okay. Did you want to say anything about that point? And I'll have one other point before we go, Robert. Go ahead.
You're right. It's down to the wire now. We have nothing to lose here, but everything. We don't, back to we took God out of the picture, and this is the end results. While we have a lesbian running for president, we have all the stuff that we're doing to children and allowing presidents and all the corruption. Is because we took God out of the picture, and if we don't get back to God, like back in the days of Noah, all of this is moot. We're not going to be able to do it on our own now.
That's why
we're
gonna
have to turn.
For the people that wonder why I published your article, that's why they should go to my website, oldschoolus.com, and read Robert's article. Even if you don't agree with him about everything, obviously I don't agree with him about everything, but what you said morally was right on point. And we have to get we need to be in prayer. We need to be in the way I see it, in meditation. I've talked about meditation a lot. We need to pray and meditate and seek God. And if we don't know how to seek God, just ask him. Just say, how do I seek you?
It's as simple as that. Get on your knees or whatever. And he'll know when you're serious. Okay. He'll know if he'll know. And he's always said it throughout the Bible. Just pray about it.
That's right. Ask him and he will help you. By the way, Fabian did say that Portland voted and mail-in ballots voted for this lesbian. I'm going to tell you, yes, they did, but that's all part of the effect of us needing to be more vocal and be more out there and have more influence. I know we can't control what Portland does, but we can control our own self. We can't even control our own self, but God can help us. And he can help us control our families, in our neighborhoods, in our cities, in our counties. Work on the county level, because that's the most important. If we could take our counties back, I was talking with my friend Brian from Grants Pass tonight, and he's working on getting Josephine County up there, making it a better, stronger place, and making it a place where people can live again and not have to live in fear and not be crazy, because Oregon has a lot of, just like every state, even California has a lot of decent people, but they're mostly in the rural areas. We need to talk to each other, those people in the rural areas, and make ourselves a bigger block and fight for election laws like we have in Florida. Fight for those laws, and you might just see your candidates and your governors win in your state if you fight for those election laws. Right. So
and God knows our heart. You may not go to church or whatever, but if he knows when you're fighting for what is right and what's morally right,
that's
God knows that.
Sticks bass, bass. He plays bass. That's why it's Sticks bass drum. He has a bass drum. Sticks bass said it's nearly impossible to change Democrats. if we change ourselves or let God change us to start with. And no, I don't think I'm some great moral person, Robert. I have a lot of flaws, obviously, like the rest of us.
You ain't by yourself.
I shouldn't have been yelling at you so much. That shows I
love it,
have
man.
some flaws.
No, man, it shows you.
Okay.
You
But
cool.
anyway, I'm just saying we do the best we can. But
Right.
but if we allow God to change us, He's already changed me a lot. Believe me, I was
Right.
pretty screwed up for a
100%.
long time. A lot of people
You
know
ain't
my
alone,
story.
dude.
A lot of people know my story. I was
100%.
under a lot of delusion for many years, and I almost lost my family. I almost lost my soul. So I'm not going to point fingers at anybody else. But if we can allow God to change us, and He is changing us day by day, if we ask Him, I know that's true. Then He can change. I don't know what He's going to do with our country. I don't know if we're in the end days. We can talk about that another time. I don't know if America can come back, but I know that God can change us one by one. And if He changes one by one, He can change our families, right? He's working on my family. He's working on other families.
Just this conversation will get other people to at least think about it and talk about it and make their own decisions. We're getting people off the couch is what we need to do.
Yeah.
So,
amen, Robert. So, anyway, I hope this was of some use to people. Hopefully it was use to people. Thank you guys for being here tonight. How do they reach you, Robert? It's your email is
rdtcmttsa. Yeah, there it is. rdtcmttsa@mail.com. And please email me anytime. I would love that. And Fabian, you can too. I
agree or disagree, whatever.
Agree or disagree, because I love you, brother, and everything. So
yeah, right on. And go to oldschoolus.com to see more. You see Robert's article there. There's two parts because it was a long article, so we split it in two.
Got one coming now. I got another one coming.
Got another one on the way. Okay, cool.
Yes, I do.
And if you want to talk to me, if you think I'm wrong or right, whatever opinions you may want to have, you're welcome to go to info@oldschoolus.com. I think that's about a wrap tonight, guys. I know there's always more comments coming in, but I could be here all night if I'm Six Base said it's fun debating Dems anyway. Yeah, I hear that. Robert said, or Fabian, I'll give, Fabian says, of course, fight, but even you guys don't see how badly the enemy took over our own side. No, I think I see quite clearly what the enemy is doing.
Very clearly.
And they are working on us big time. And we do need to unite. Now, again, we need to unite with what's right and who's right. We can argue about that. But if we're Republicans, we kind of have to vote Republican right now, period, unless there's just a rhino going in there. If there's an America First person, I'm going to vote for that person. Yes. And if Trump is a nominee, I know a lot of bad stuff.
God-fearing person, yeah.
I know that Trump did a lot of bad stuff, but if he's a nominee, that, hey, it's my show. This is the way I see it. Other people have their own shows, their own opinions. That's the way I see it.
100%.
There's going to be more lives saved by putting a Trump in there by far, with abortion
or DeSantis,
with immigration. Oh, of course, absolutely, with DeSantis too. Immigration, abortion, even with the jab. Hopefully, Trump has gotten smart to that at this point. I know he hasn't spoken out, but if he gets back in, I don't picture him pushing that. I could be wrong, but the point is, any MAGA Republican, and by MAGA, I don't think of that as a Trump thing. I think of Make America Great Again is everybody should be for that. We should all want to make America great. If you don't, then you might be a left-wing Democrat because you might hate America.
Right.
But the rest of us love this country, and we're going to fight for this country.
Absolutely.
So God bless 100%. You guys. Robert, thank you for coming on and taking the heat.
You took the heat. Inviting me.
Took the heat, man.
I did.
I credit you for that. And I ain't mad at you.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Robert is my good friend, and I don't have to agree with my friends on everything, okay? But we can be honest with each other, and we had it out tonight. This is what we do. All right, guys. All right. I'm sorry about the connection. I don't know how to fix it. I'll look into it. But I'm happy to be back on the air again. It's been 11 weeks. I missed it so much. I miss being with you guys. I miss talking about the issues. I miss talking about what's important, what I believe is important, what I think you guys believe is important too. And mostly it's getting America back on track if possible, and at least getting our souls on the right track. Because whatever happens to
100%.
America, good or bad, first thing we got to get our souls right. So pray, meditate, do what you need to do to get right with God, and ask God what you need to do to get closer to him. Good night, everybody. And thank you again, Mind Over Energy, for watching chat again. Great job. All right, guys. Thank you, Robert. Thank you all.
All right.
And
Take care.
good night, all. Bye-bye.